Dear readers, we welcome you once again to spiritual messages that in reality, are not ours but yours, for they are expressions of your own state of consciousness. If they were not, you could not align with them. Whatever you are in energetic alignment with, you can experience. You have evolved to a state of consciousness spiritually prepared to release the old programming, concepts, and beliefs you were taught and accepted as truth throughout many lifetimes. This is the reason it often seems difficult or even unnecessary to let go of some ordinary concepts that have worked well in three-dimensional living. The three-dimensional mind, in its limited capacity for anything other than what is already in the collective, keeps telling you that things should stay as they are. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, you reading these messages are no longer in the third dimension. We have stated many times that you have reached that point at which you no longer need classes, objects, rites and rituals to gain a deeper understanding of God and spirituality. You have come to that place in your spiritual journey where you now understand that you already have everything you had hoped these things would give you. You now know that there is only one, and you are it. The journey now is about living this truth until it becomes your attained state of consciousness. Metaphysical tools do not or cannot make you any more than you already are. Continuing to depend upon and look to outside, means after awakening to the truth that God is already fully present within, will serve only to prolong experiences of separation. Please understand that we are not saying you cannot have and hold your favorite crystals, go to a class you are drawn to, see an energy worker, or participate in sacred ceremonies. What we are saying is that you must understand that crystals, rites, and rituals awaken and augment light energy already present but not yet recognized within you. Once recognized, the spiritual student must begin to draw from within, rather than from without. Crystals carry their own unique energy, and serve to align and activate that same particular energy in a person. Never believe that physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual tools of any kind can give you something you don't already have. You are ready to accept that everything you have been seeking from others, places, and things throughout hundreds of lifetimes has never existed anywhere but within you. You have done the work and are qualified to let go of seeking and searching for God. You have found him, her, it, and it is you. At a certain point, everyone must fully accept and live the reality of who and what they are as best they can. True spiritual living is not based in common three-dimensional concepts, picture the saint on a holy card, but rather is the practice of meeting ordinary events from a place of unconditional love. Unconditional love is a state of consciousness that automatically recognizes every person to be a divine being, in spite of appearances to the contrary. It may be accompanied by emotion, but may not. After inner recognition, the person can then take whatever human footsteps he may be guided to take. Unconditional love is a facet of being in the world, but not of it. As the energy of Earth becomes increasingly refined and intense, your physical systems are changing in order to integrate these higher frequencies. The process of releasing stored cellular memory from hundreds of past lives, and replacing it with frequencies of light, may leave you feeling sick and totally exhausted on all levels, leaving the human mind to step in with dire warnings about all the diseases you might have. Try to go with the flow, resting and loving yourself as best you can during the down times, trusting that all is proceeding as it is meant to. Ascension symptoms will often manifest through the body's weakest area. Example, if you died of tuberculosis in one or more lives, you may experience lung problems in this one as old energy from this source as well as others clears. Clearing symptoms come and go, which is one way you can recognize them for what they are. However, if you feel the need to seek medical help, do so without guilt or resistance. Many of you are being intuitively guided to remove energy cords that may be actively holding you in energetic bondage to certain people, places, or things. Energetic bonds, cords, are frequently carried from lifetime to lifetime, simply because they are in the person's energy field. They can be recognized by intense good or bad reactions, or connections to a certain person or persons. Energy cords result in a draining and unhealthy energetic attachment to someone, partner, family member, friend, or enemy. Intense experiences of every sort can and often result in the formation of an energetic connection cord. Cord removal is simple. You can do it with intention and visualization. Ask your guides to assist you. Removing an energy cord does not mean the ending of love and interaction with those you love and want in your life, but means that the addictive and unhealthy connection ceases, unless once again created. Parents often carry energy cords to their children or to one particular child. Relationships become healthier without energy cords. Talk to your cells, sending them light and telling them that it is time to release all old three-dimensional programming, age, deterioration, disease, etc., and move into the divine blueprint. This practice often results in long-buried issues surfacing to be cleared. Never believe that the sudden appearance of some negative issue indicates failure on your part, for you cannot fail. Failure is a myth, a human concept based in the belief of duality, success versus failure, and separation. You can forget or ignore, but can never be less than the fullness of the Godhead expressing itself. Trust that you are right where you are supposed to be, in the midst of a process that is sometimes uncomfortable. You are ready to let go of old programming that shouts, you must do this, or do that, and only in this way. You have graduated beyond the shoulds and should nots that represent lingering three-dimensional programming. Once you choose to stop being a slave to the three-dimensional belief system, you will quickly discover that the sky does not fall down and life proceeds very nicely. You must accept that things are going to be different. Many believe that as the world ascends into higher dimensional energy, they can continue doing everything just as they are doing now, but without interference. Because consciousness is the substance of all form, as interpreted by mind according to an individual's state of consciousness, the outer scene cannot help but change as personal and collective consciousness evolves. Trust and accept that your higher self knows what you need, when you need it, and how to get it to you, be it a necessary lesson or a person. This is spiritual trust, and you reading these messages are ready for spiritual trust. Spiritual trust is the recognition that all is proceeding according to plan, regardless of how it may seem to third-dimensional thinking. Spiritual trust is an attained state of consciousness, and you are ready for it or already in it. Continuing to view concepts of how spiritual experiences must be or look in order to be authentic, can act to block the higher self's attempt to bring to you some important lesson experience. I is God, and never Mary, Joe, or Betty. I is God. The word I is sacred, and refers to the real divine self, but which through unawakened ignorance is thought of as personal selfhood, the one that believes itself to be separate and apart from God and all life forms. The master teacher Jesus taught the truth about I am, but the people of that time were not sufficiently evolved, and misinterpreted his message as referring to him personally. This is and continues to remain the source of the most extreme error of present-day Christianity, that only one person is the Son of God. Begin to realize the truth of I am, and cease using the word I so much in its personal sense. Every time you say, I am sick, or I am broke, or I am a failure, you create that very thing for yourself. Begin to think of I in its real sense, the omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent I that is my true selfhood. Know that you are experiencing the dying gasps of old programming, such as physical inheritance, karmic relationships, and cellular memory. Never claim problems as being personally yours, or you make them yours. All error is impersonal because the I that you are has no problems, nor does it know anything about problems. Divine consciousness is infinitely whole, complete, and perfect. If error, sin, disease, lack, limitations, etc., existed in divine consciousness, it would be forever held in place by divine law, and could never be removed or healed. Once you consciously or unconsciously state your intention to awaken and evolve, you are on your way and do not need to keep doubting, worrying, and asking if you are doing it right. Every person is only required to live out from their highest level of awareness, and as they do that, more is given. It is a process because you still live in energies of time and space. Evolution is the ongoing journey of awakening into conscious oneness, but does not stop with that realization. Each new revelation embraced and practiced creates a pathway for more truth to unfold, because God is infinitely expressing itself, and thus so are you. The time has arrived in which all hedging, doubting, and making excuses must cease. To say, "I am not worthy. I am a sinner. I cannot be a divine being," simply reflects old, false, ego-based concepts of true humility. Once a person awakens to the fact that there is only one expressing itself as the many, they can never go back to being asleep, although some will try. With great love and respect for you all, we are the Arcturian group.